12 credit cards that will help get you traveling sooner. The best bonuses this year on Amex's Marriott and Aeroplan cards. And we take our first look at the new WestJet business credit card. All this and more on This Week in Rewards for May 23rd, 2025, right here on Rewards Canada. If you're looking to make the most of your loyalty programs and credit card rewards, you've come to the right place. This is your weekly dose of loyalty rewards, travel, and credit card happenings in Canada from Canada's original points and miles resource, Rewards Canada. A quick reminder that we have links in the description below to all the topics we're covering today in today's video. I'm your host, Patrick, and as always, we're going to kick things off with credit cards. So this week we came up with a new feature on Rewards Canada that's part of our Everyday Value series. This is to help you guys with everyday usage of your credit cards or which credit cards to get. And this one looks at 12 credit card welcome bonuses that can help get you traveling sooner or get you discounts on your travel sooner than later. And by sooner, we mean within 3 months of getting the card. And by travel value, we mean at least $300. We want you guys getting at least a significant portion of your travel covered, whether it's a one flight or hotel nights, multiple hotel nights, part of your cruise, you name it. That's what we look at with this feature. So let's take a look at the 12 cards right now that have some of the best welcome bonuses that can get you traveling sooner than later. So the card that has the most value right now is the American Express Aeroplan Reserve card. I'm going to cover this a little bit later too with those best bonuses on the Amex cards because this one just has a new bonus that came out. Now, with this feature, we're looking at the portion of the welcome bonus that is awarded within 3 months, because a lot of these cards you have to spend for 6 months, 12 months, even past 12 months, but some of them have pretty big bonuses still within the first 3 months, and this card has the one that's the most valuable, which is 60,000 Aeroplan points within 3 months. That is worth $900 or more because we value Aeroplan points at 1.5 cents each. Now you can easily get even more value than that. You can get 2 cents, 3 cents. It really depends on what you redeem for. Now you can get lower as well. That's why we kind of go with a lower average of 1.5 compared to some other resources which give you like at least 2 cents. So to earn these 60,000 points within 3 months, you have to spend $7,500 on the card in those first 3 months. And those 60,000 points will be yours. The card does have a $599 annual fee, but it is the Aeroplan Reserve card, which comes with a lot of travel benefits for flying with Air Canada. And those points are best used for domestic and international flights on Air Canada and their partner airlines. Remember, business class one way on Air Canada's partner airlines that haven't moved to dynamic pricing start at 60,000 points. So you would have that amount of points to get yourself a one-way business class flight, say like on Swiss or on Austrian and other airlines like that. There's even some good deals to Asia where you can get below 60,000. Economy class, I have found a lot of round-trip economy class flights, short haul, within Canada or say from Ontario to New York State, like to New York City, for under 10,000 points round trip. So that's 60,000 points. That's 6 round trip flights between say Toronto and New York City that you could potentially get. And that's not even taking into account the preferred pricing you get on Air Canada flights when you redeem points by having an Aeroplan co-brand card like this card. So the next card that has the next best value in terms of your 3-month period that we're using for this feature is the RBC British Airways Visa Infinite card. So within 3 months, if you spend $6,000 on the card within those first 3 months, you're gonna get 50,000 Avios. We value Avios the same as Aeroplan points, 1.5 cents each. So that's $750 or more in value because again, you can redeem for higher value than 1.5 cents, but you can also redeem for lower value. So again, kind of an average there. The annual fee on this card is $165, and the best bets for using the Avios are for flights from Canada to Europe. Of course, there's that famous Toronto to Dublin, 26,000 Avios. So with spending $6,000 on the card, you will have enough Avios to do 2 round-trip tickets between Toronto and Dublin in economy class. So that's going to be well worth more than $750. But it's also good for flights between Canada and Asia, even Canada to Fiji. British Airways Avios, 31,000 Avios one way to get between Vancouver and Fiji on Fiji Airways. So just a lot of little things you can use Avios for and get a lot of value. And then there's even, to a lesser extent, it's good for flights on Alaska Airlines or American Airlines between the US and Canada, or I guess from Canada to the US. So there's a lot of options there as well. The next best card is the Platinum card from American Express. It's offering 70,000 membership rewards points within the first 3 months. That is $700 or more for any travel. You do have to spend $10,000 on this card within the first 3 months to get that bonus. The annual fee is $799. The beauty of the Platinum card is it covers all travel. This is any travel, flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises. So you can use all that to book any travel anytime you want with anybody and then redeem points against the charge. But you can also convert to Aeroplan, to British Airways. So the first two cards that we covered, this card kind of covers those same things. So you're gonna have like 70,000 Aeroplan points, which in some ways is worth more than the 60,000 on the reserve. So lots of things to take into consideration here. And of course, the Platinum card is the best ultra premium card in Canada. So there's a lot of benefits that go with this card for that $799 annual fee. And the next card that's going to provide you with really good travel value is the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card. This is another card we're going to cover a little bit later in the video because it's out with its best bonus for this year. So the portion of its new best bonus that is awarded within 3 months is 65,000 Bonvoy points. And we value Bonvoy points at 1 cent a piece, but again, you can get more value than that, but you can also get less. So that's $650 or more in value within 3 months. Now, this has one of the lowest spend requirements. It only requires $1,500 in spending over 3 months. So $500 a month if you want, or $1,500 a month, however you want to do it, just as long as you hit $1,500 within 3 months and you get those points. The annual fee is $120. Now remember too, this card as an anniversary bonus gives you a free night award up to 35,000 points with a lot of potential value there. I was just looking at, say, like the Marriott Calgary Airport here, the in-terminal hotel. You can use your free night certificate there without top off, and you're getting a hotel room that's in the $300 to $400 range. So you're paying $120 to get a $300 to $400 hotel night. That is a great benefit of this card, and just for that benefit alone, you should be keeping this card. But it's good to know that within 3 months, you're going to be getting $650 or more worth of points that you can use for hotel stays in Canada or worldwide. It's also good for transfers to nearly 40 airline programs. So 60,000 points when you transfer to most airline programs is worth 25,000 airline points or miles. So a little bit less value, I'd say, than the hotel stays, but it's still a pretty decent amount of airline points if you want to go that route as well. Again, just a lot of value. And just in case you're wondering, say like that Calgary Airport hotel, I think that one was 24,000 to 28,000 points per night. So you're getting almost 3 nights at that hotel with that 65,000 points, which would be worth $900 to $1,200. So almost double our $650 valuation. Just giving you some quick, examples here of how much value you can get from the Marriott Bonvoy program and the Marriott Bonvoy card. Next up in the list is the Cathay World Elite Mastercard. This is the one that's powered by Neo. So within 3 months, you're gonna get 40,000 Asia miles. You do have to spend $5,000 in those 3 months to get the 40,000 Asia miles. We value Asia miles the same, 1.5 cents each. So that's $600 or more in value. They are best used for flights from Canada to Asia. Cathay flies to Toronto or Vancouver. The 40,000 Asia miles will easily cover the 27,000 miles required for a one-way economy class flight out of Vancouver, 38,000 for a one-way economy out of Toronto. And of course, there's so many more options to redeem as well. And they have some really good options within Asia. So if you're looking for flights within Asia, that 40,000 Asia miles will go a long way. Now, I will give you guys a little bit of a hint. I'm recording this May 23rd. I would wait just over a week before you apply for this card. That's all I will say. Next on the list is the Scotiabank Platinum American Express card. So this is their second highest ultra premium card from Scotiabank. And this card is offering 60,000 Scene points within 3 months. That 60,000 Scene points, easy math with Scene Plus, $600 of travel value because it's 1 cent per point for travel. Any travel you book on the card, so it's any travel, flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises, all inclusives. You don't have to book via Scene Plus travel. You can choose to if you want to, but you don't have to. The spend required, not too bad, $3,000 on the lower end out of all the cards on this list. And the annual fee for this card is $399. But remember, it gets you airport lounge access with 10 lounge visits per year. So a pretty decent deal there as well with this card. And it's a straight 2% return card on all your spending. You get 2 points per dollar, and it has no effects fees. So lots to that card as well. Next on the list is the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard. Right now it has its elevated welcome bonus of up to 70,000 WestJet points. But at the 3-month mark, you are looking at 60,000 WestJet points, which is worth $600 towards WestJet base fares. The spend required is $5,000. Annual fee is $119. But remember, you get your first check bag free with this card. And you also get the annual companion voucher, and you get that right away with the card as well, within a few weeks at least of getting the card. So that's something you can start using right away with the card as well. Now, WestJet points are best used on domestic and international flights on WestJet, anywhere WestJet flies, or WestJet vacation packages. If you choose to use some of those points towards taxes, fees, extras, the value goes down a little bit, but if you just use it towards base fares, you're looking at $600 of straight value. Now on the list, we have WestJet's competitor, and it's the American Express Aeroplan card. So this one is offering 30,000 Aeroplan points at the 3-month mark. That's worth $450 or more. As I've already talked about the Aeroplan, program, so I won't go as in depth right now with this card. The spend required is only $3,000. Annual fee only $120 as well. But like I said, for the Aeroplan Reserve at the start, this is best for domestic and international flights on Air Canada and their partners as well. It's also should be noted you can use it for other things. Air Canada Vacations. Now Air Canada Vacations, it's 1 cent per point, so that's only $300 in value. But again, that would make it on our list at 1 cent per point, but we value 1.5, so we're looking at $450 or more for the 3-month mark of the welcome bonus on this card. Next up on the list is the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card. So this is the one we always talk about that is such a good card for quick injection of points right away. That's kind of what spurred this feature on, is like what other cards can you use, pretty quick for welcome bonuses to get traveling sooner. And that is what this card is good for. That for long term, it's not really the best card because it's got such low earn rates. It takes a lot of spend to get rewards that you can spend a lot less on other cards with. But it is a prime perfect card for that quick injection of points so you can get traveling right away. Now you can get between 35,000 to 55,000 Avion points in the first 3 months. That's $350 to $550 or more in value. The spend required is $0 for the 35,000 points. You just have to be approved for the card and you're gonna get 35,000 points. Now, if you hit that $5,000 spending level within, I think about the first month and a half, you should be able to get the other 20,000 Avion points that are part of this bonus into your account by the 3-month mark, and then you will have that $550 or more value. Annual fee is only $120, and this card is like the Scene Plus card and the American Express Platinum card. Any travel, flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises. Now you do have to book via Avion Rewards. It's not like Scene Plus or Amex where you can just go out and book with anybody. Your best value is booking directly with Avion Rewards through their travel service. But they do have the Avion Air Redemption Schedule. That's their reward chart, where 35,000 Avion points gets you a round trip flight in North America. You just pay the taxes and fees. There's a maximum ticket value assigned to that, so you do have to take that into account as well. But again, that can push your value much higher than the $550, and you can convert these to British Airways. Already talked about British Airways with the British Airways Visa in this list, so I won't go down that route again. But just so you know, you can convert to British Airways, you can convert to WestJet, to Cathay, which we talked about again. You can kind of see the connection between all these top cards. They all have kind of the same thing, the same programs that they're working with to get the best value from them. Next up on the list is the BMO Ascend World Elite Mastercard. So this card is offering 45,000 BMO rewards points at the 3-month mark. That's worth $300. Yeah, this is BMO rewards for you. You get $1 for every 150 points. They don't make the math easy. So with this card, those 45,000 points are actually worth $300, but that makes it onto our list. The spend required is $4,500. It's a $150 annual fee, but it is first year free. So that's basically that's the first card on this list that's first year free. So that's $300 in free value to you if you like. BMO rewards, again, super flexible. You can use for any travel that you book on the card with anybody. You can book direct with Air Canada, book with WestJet, book your cruise, you name it, redeem your points against the charge. Again, this is kind of a card where long term it may not provide as much value. I mean, it has good value on travel purchases, 5 points per dollar, but it's capped at 15,000 per year, and that 5 points is not the same as 5 points on other cards because, as I already mentioned, $1 equals 150 points in the program. So you're actually looking at about a 3.3% return on the 5 points. They've just made it so confusing. If you've watched my videos or read my blog posts for years, I don't have any love lost for Bank of Montreal, but it is a decent welcome bonus if you're looking for a quick injection of points. $300, basically for free because there is no annual fee in the first year. Next up on the list is a points earning machine. I think it's the only points earning machine on the list, and that's the MBNA Rewards World Elite Mastercard. It's offering 30,000 MBNA Rewards points at the 3-month mark. That's $300 towards any travel. Spend required is $2,000, so very low spend, $120 annual fee. Now I say any travel, but you have to book it through MBNA Rewards to get that max value. If you choose to do like a cash back redemption, like book travel with anybody else, your value is going to be a little bit less than that. I think about $240, so I'm just doing this quickly in my head as to value. So you do want to try and use those 30,000 points for travel booked via MBNA Rewards. And the last card in our list is the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite card, one of the most well-rounded cards in Canada. It does a little bit of everything well. It doesn't stand out in one category, but it doesn't, suck at any categories either. It's a good card across the board. It's offering 30,000 Scene Plus points in the first 3 months. Same thing as the other Scotiabank, the Platinum AmeriExpress we discussed. It's 1 point per dollar, so that's $300 of travel value that you have within 3 months. Only requires $2,000 in spend. Annual fees $150, but it also has lounge access, lounge passes, no effects fees, and those points are good for any travel at any time: flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises. So there you go. Those are the 12 credit cards right now that can get you traveling sooner than later, or give you discounts on travel sooner than later. $300 to $900 or more in travel value that you can be having within 3 months. So this is good to know. It's good to know too, like cards like the Scene Plus and the Platinum card from AmeriExpress. You can get those cards right now. Book your travel right now, because you get up to 12 months after to redeem points against the charge. BMO allows you as well, so that's another one, but they only give you, I believe it's 90 days. But again, you can go book that travel right when you get the credit card, and then you'll have those points within 3 months to get, $300 off, $600 off, you name it. All right, next up in credit cards are the big new bonuses for this year for Amex's Aeroplan Reserve cards and their Marriott Bonvoy cards. I'll go through this pretty quickly because I know we've already covered quite a bit in this video with the 12 best offers here for traveling sooner. So the card I focus on the most here is the consumer version, the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card, up to 110,000 points when you apply for the card by August 18th. Now the bonus is broken down to 65,000 points after you spend $3,000 on your card in the first 3 months. So that's why it made it onto that list, because that's the first 3 months. You'll get another 30,000 points after you spend $20,000 on your card in the first 12 months. Yeah, that's a pretty big spend. More and more card issuers are pushing bigger and bigger spend. They are trying to push the gamers out, push the churners out. They want people who will be profitable for them, that they can make money with. And I mean, I agree with them. I mean, if we want to keep being able to use points and miles to help fund our travels and have a decent amount of points and miles coming in, we're only going to get that if the credit card companies can make money on it. If they're not making money on these cards, the offers are going to drop, the earn rates are going to drop. So we have to really take that into consideration. And $20,000 spent over 12 months, that's not that bad. Where people come into issues with that is like other cards. Do you have to take spend off other cards? Like maybe you have the Cobalt card and you have to shift some spend and you're not going to earn 5 times points. Or, can you use some of that 20,000 for another welcome bonus on another card? So those are things to take into consideration. And then the last part of the bonus is 15,000 points when you make a purchase between months 15 and 17. So Amex has pushed this back. I think it used to be 14. Somebody can correct me. I don't have it in front of me, but they've pushed it back a little. So you have to hold the card longer where you're fully paying the second year annual fee. Again, as much as we dislike this is all about keeping these cards valuable to the consumer, because the people who really game the cards, they're the ones who are costing those of us who like to use these cards long term and keep the value up in terms of earn rates, in terms of overall welcome bonuses. I mean, I still like 110,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. I think when we got the Marriott Bonvoy card, I think it was 25,000 points, and that was amazing at that time. So they've come a long way in terms of welcome bonuses. So I think, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of room for us to complain, but I don't think we really should be complaining. I mean, even if you can't spend that 20,000, this is an amazing bonus. 65,000, that's 10,000 higher than the last bonus, just the standard bonus on the card. Or is it 15,000, 10 or 15,000 more than the last bonus on the card? And then that additional 15,000 months 15, 17. So 80,000 points on this card are very easy to earn, and that's at least $800 of value, if not more. And you have your free night award every year on the card. It's just a keeper card with a great bonus. So if you don't have this card, I would really consider getting it now. And like all the credit cards, we'll have the links below, and I want to thank everybody and anybody who does apply via our links. That's how you support Rewards Canada's YouTube channel. That's how you support the Rewards Canada site, and how we bring you everything for free. Next up, we have 130,000 Aeroplan Points welcome bonus offer on the consumer version of their Aeroplan Reserve card. So again, this one is available till August 18th. You're gonna get 60,000 Aeroplan points after you spend $7,500 on your card in the first 3 months of membership. That's the number one card offer. In the previous part, we talked about the 12 welcome bonuses that have the most value for traveling sooner. So it's 60,000 Aeroplan points after 3 months. You can get an additional 40,000 points after you spend $45,000 in your first 12 months. Another really big spend. But for people typically who get the reserve card, I mean, that's not that much spending actually. But again, where could you possibly spend that money elsewhere on other cards to get even more value? So that's something you have to do. Maybe do some math and see whether it's worthwhile or not to push that 45,000, get the full bonus. And then there's an additional 30,000 points when you make a purchase between months 15 and 17. So at the very least, you can get 90,000 Aeroplan points on this card. That's higher than the last bonus. That is a great bonus. That's what I said in my blog post on all these cards, is you can consider these bonuses as excellent even if you can't meet that 12-month spending requirement, because you're going to get a good chunk of points just for doing the 3-month spending and holding the card for 15 to 17 months and doing a purchase in months 15 to 17. Now we'll look at the business cards quickly. So the Marriott Bonvoy Business American Express card is offering up to 130,000 welcome bonus points. It's 75,000 points after you spend 6,000 on your card in the first 3 months. And then you're going to get an additional 40,000 after you spend 30,000 in the first 12 months, and then another 15,000 points in months 15 to 17 when you make one purchase. So at the very least, you're looking at a 90,000 point bonus if you can't make that $30,000 spending. Another great bonus on this card. Same thing here, free night award, pretty much like the consumer version. Has a little bit of elevated earn rates, but also a higher annual fee compared to the consumer version of the card. And the last offer is on the Aeroplan Business Reserve card. So this is the highest bonus of them all in terms of just the number of points. It's up to 140,000 points. It's broken down as 65,000 after spending 10,500 in the first 3 months. So it's a bit bigger spend. That's actually higher than the Platinum card. And then another 45,000 when you spend I'll say this, $75,000 on your card in the first 12 months in card membership. That's not the highest spend we've ever seen. I'm almost positive BMO's Eclipse Visa Infinite Privilege required $100,000 in spending for one of the bonuses they had at one time, but it's not a far cry from that. So 75,000 on your card to get 45,000 points. Yeah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But again, for some people, easy peasy. Some people can spend that in a month or two on their cards. So, but for a lot of people, they may forego that $75,000 spending, just keep the card for month 15, 17, make that extra purchase, and then you're gonna have 95,000 points, getting your first 3-month bonus of 65, and then that 30,000 for the second year bonus. So again, some excellent offers from American Express for their summer. Like I said, these are available until August 18th. All right, next up in credit cards is our first look at the upcoming WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard for Business. So we've mentioned this in past videos, in our podcast interview with Steve McClellan, the VP of Loyalty at WestJet, in our coverage of the new WestJet program. So here we have the actual details on the card. So the WestJet World Elite Mastercard for Business will be released this summer, probably late summer, I think. So right now is just being beta tested for, they're just trying to work out all the kinks. But we talked to WestJet after one of our followers on Reddit reached out to us saying, hey, here's some details on the card. So I just want to make sure we were allowed to release those details, and WestJet said, yeah, go ahead. You guys can go ahead and let people know. So with this card, what we know is the welcome bonus will be 35,000 WestJet points, and that's on your first purchase. So you could spend as little as $1 on your card. That's what I say, usually $1. Perhaps it's less, but I would go and spend at least $1, and you're going to get 35,000 WestJet points. That's worth $350 towards WestJet base fares. The annual fee on the card is $175. Additional cards like supplementary cards, $75 each. So not too bad in terms of what you get for the card as well, which I'm going to go into now. So the earn rate. So the card earns 3 WestJet points for every $1 spent on WestJet travel. So that is a good elevated earn rate when you're booking WestJet flights or WestJet vacation packages. It's marketed as up to 6 points per dollar, but that's because the card gives you silver status, which I'll discuss in a little bit here. But yeah, 3 points per dollar, that's like a 3% return on your WestJet flights if you're redeeming those points for WestJet base fares. Excellent return there. I foresee a lot of WestJet flyers getting this card, even maybe just for that. It's also going to earn 3 WestJet points for every $1 spent on eligible business expenses. So that is telecommunications, electronics, and shipping. So that's things like your cell phones, cell services, buying phones. Electronics is like computers, electronic sales, software, things like that. And then shipping is like courier services, air and ground, freight forwarders, and things like that. So you also get like your 3% return on those business services. And then everything else is 1.5 WestJet points per dollar. So that's just like the consumer version of the card where you earn 1.5 points on all other spending. So you use this card at Costco, you will earn your 1.5 points at Costco, which is a 1.5% return. Now we'll look at the benefits. And as I mentioned, Silver Elite status. So the card comes with automatic Silver Elite status for the rest of the year that you're approved. So say you get the card when it comes out this summer or later this summer, you'll have WestJet Silver for the rest of this year, and you get it for the following years. So here's the thing, perhaps if this is the offer that's going to continue, so if you were to get this card in early 2026, you should have status throughout 2026 and 2027. But I don't know if they'll change that, as the year progresses. But right now, when the card comes out this year, at least what we know is you're going to get Silver Elite status for the rest of this year and for all of 2026. And then afterwards, you only need to spend $30,000 on the card to re-qualify for silver every year after that. That's actually a big discount compared to the $100,000 that would be required just on the WestJet RBC World Elite Mastercard in terms of status lift to get yourself to silver status. So they give you an easier way to get to silver status with just spending on that card. The next benefit is automatic flight discount. So what it does is it gives you tier 1 of WestJet's business travel program. I think it's just called WestJet Biz. So tier 1 gets you discounts off base fares of WestJet flights. So same like the Silver Elite status, you get it for the remainder of the year you're approved in, and then a full year after that. So right now it'd be rest of 2025 for once the card launches, and then all of 2026. And then to retain that benefit afterwards, you just have to book one flight through the business travel portal per year, and you will retain that tier 1 to get you the discounts. And then, of course, it has some of the same benefits as the consumer version of the card, like first check bag free. So that's what made the consumer card, the WestJet card, famous. That same thing here for the card holder, and up to 8 guests traveling on the same reservation, they get their first check bag free. Then it has the World Elite Mastercard benefits like Mastercard Travel Pass, Flexi Roam, data roaming, H&R Block discount, things like that as well to the card. And it has a decent insurance package as well, actually a little bit better than the consumer version, because this one actually includes trip cancellation insurance and mobile device insurance. Once the card is launched, we will have a full-on Rewards Canada review. It will receive the Rewards Canada review treatment, and we'll let you know our complete thoughts by that time. But right now, it's looking like a pretty decent card, especially for the business owners who fly with WestJet, at least a few times per year. It's gonna make a lot of sense to get this card and put it in your wallet and use it for those WestJet flights and other spending, of course, as well. Next up in credit cards, this is from a couple weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks since we've had our last episode, so there's a lot to cover here. We've already covered quite a bit, but I promise you we won't be too much longer because there isn't too much after this. So CIBC has made some updates to their cards. They're boosting the NEXUS credit on their cards from $100 to $200, but they've also lowered annual spending caps on Dividend Cards, but also done some changes there that make them better in one way, worse in another way, and then they've removed some insurance coverage on some cards. So we here at Rewards Canada were wondering who will be the first card issuer that offers NEXUS rebates to bump up their rebate, because last October the NEXUS fee went from $50 US per application to $120 US. And now we have our answer. CIBC is the first to do so. So they are now going to offer up to $200 Canadian, so that'll easily cover that US $120 once every 4 years on older cards that offer this benefit, other than the Aventura Visa Infinite Privilege card, which gives 2 credits. So you get basically $400 in Canadian value for NEXUS, so you can apply for 2 people with the Aventura Visa Infinite Privilege. So kudos to CIBC for being the first to do that with the cards. Now let's see who's next in line who will be doing that. Will it be TD with their NEXUS credits? Will it be Amex? We'll just have to wait to see. And now they've also made some changes to their dividend cashback cards. So first, the good news is they've lowered the minimum cashback redemption amount from $25 to $10. So anytime your cashback balance reaches $10, you can cash it out. But they've also got rid of the automatic. They used to cash you out once per year if you never cashed out. They've got rid of that. So your balance will just build and build and build until you choose to cash out. But in addition to that change, they have lowered the overall spending cap on their cards. So if you're not familiar with the Dividend Card spending caps, they actually have 2 in place. They have one for their accelerated earn rates, which on most of the cards is $20,000 across those accelerated earn rates. But then they have an overall cap on all spending of $80,000. So say you went out and spent $80,000 on something, you would not get the accelerated earn rates on because you would hit that 80,000 even if you hadn't spent $20,000 in those accelerated earn rates. So that's just something to be aware of. So that overall cap of 80,000 has been dropped to $50,000 on their dividend cards. I don't think it's a huge deal, but there are a few people out there who do spend quite a bit on their cards. So this is noteworthy that if you're going to hit that 50,000 before you say hit the 20,000 cap on your accelerated earn rates, you lose all your accelerated earn rates and you'll just be earning the base cash back on your dividend cards. Just something to be aware of. And next, we have their changes to insurance coverage. Now, this is on a lot of their cards that they don't issue anymore, but grandfathered and people are still using, or on their lower end cards. For example, like the CIBC Aventura Visa cards, their no-fee Aventura Visa cards, they get the biggest hit. They lose their auto rental coverage. They're losing the CDW coverage, which, there aren't a lot of no-fee cards out there that offer it. This is one of the things people did get the no-fee Aventura card for, was for that auto rental collision damage coverage, and that is being lost. And then a few of the cards, like the CIBC Dividend Visa cards, are losing common carrier accident insurance. That's probably the least used insurance of any card. That is actually when something happens, like your plane crashes, your train crashes, your bus crashes, and something happens to you. It's always peace of mind having that coverage, but again, it's probably the least used. I would hope nobody ever has to use that, but that is being taken away from a lot of the cards. So just know that these changes are happening. Hit the link below in the description. You can see all the changes that are happening to these CIBC cards. And as I wrap up credit cards, just one last reminder, it is time to get the TD First Class Visa Infinite card with its elevated bonus of up to 135,000 points and first year free. Remember, this card now has lounge access with 4 free visits per year. Highly recommend getting it now. It's May 23rd. I would say get it within the next few days if you can. Before we continue on to loyalty and travel news, if you liked today's video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you don't do so yet, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we post new videos, share the video with friends, family, coworkers, anybody you feel can benefit from our coverage and the topics we cover here, and leave us a comment below, whether it's a question, correction, clarification, or if you just want to say hi. We do our best to respond to everybody's comments, and we do love getting all your comments. All right, so that takes us into loyalty programs and travel news. Now, there actually wasn't very much in the last 2 weeks, so this is where we're gonna go by quicker. The biggest news would be Delta Airlines and Korean Air taking partial ownership of WestJet. So this still requires approval, but right now there's an agreement for Delta Airlines and Korean to acquire 25% of WestJet. Delta would be investing $330 million US for a 15% stake, and Korean wants to invest $220 million for a 10% stake in the airline. And then Delta has the option to sell 2.3% to Air France and KLM, who are also a major partner of WestJet. So these are big partners of WestJet. I, for one, am kind of excited for this because these airlines are going to get members on WestJet's board, and hopefully they can influence WestJet to maybe go out and get more 787s, start more long haul flying again. I mean, the whole shift has been back to a leisure carrier, but maybe now with investment from these global airlines, WestJet will refocus on becoming more of a global airline. Hard to say, that's just kind of my wish, what they do. Another wish of mine is them joining SkyTeam. That actually seems more likely than them getting more 787s at this point, but so maybe we'll see SkyTeam membership in a few years. But right now they say the main reason is for connectivity. We're gonna see more connections to like Korean Air, to Delta. I mean, there's a lot of flights from WestJet to Delta hubs. I think one of the weakest would be Salt Lake, so maybe we'll see more flights to Salt Lake City, but maybe we'll see Korean Air take over some routes. I'd love to at least see like Seoul to Calgary, or in addition to WestJet, or take it over that for WestJet, so WestJet could deploy that 787 somewhere else. Who knows? I'm just throwing out my wishes there of what I'd like to see from this agreement of having Delta and Korean take partial ownership of WestJet. And the last thing, like I said, this is gonna be quick for loyalty and travel news, is that the Pan Pacific Gold Elite status offer we let you know about a few weeks ago, that's still available till end of June, hasn't been applied. I applied, I think it was like May 4th, and then May 11th, I had Gold Elite status in the GHA Discovery Program, which is Global Hotel Alliance. That's their program. Pan Pacific is part of that. It's promoted as Pan Pacific, but you get the Gold Elite status for all GHA hotels. So if you haven't done so, I'll put the link below so that you guys can sign up. It's a free Gold Elite status. It doesn't get you a lot, but hey, it's better than nothing if you're staying at their hotels anywhere around the world. They have over 850 locations with 4 here in Canada. All right, so that takes us into the bonus blast. This is where we take a quick look at some of the bonus offers we've added to the Rewards Canada website over the past 2 weeks. Normally we're adding anywhere from 20 to 60 offers per week, and we just highlight some of the bigger, more popular offers that people should be aware of. So we're going to start off with some buy points bonuses, and the first one is from Air Canada Aeroplan, who are offering up to a 90% bonus when you buy Aeroplan Points. Now this is a mystery bonus targeted offer. I only received up to a 75% bonus, but others are receiving up to 90%. 90% isn't bad. It's not the greatest we've seen, but if you are short some points right now for an award flight or can find award flights that have more value than what you'd be paying for the points, go ahead and buy points and redeem for them. When you do buy at the 90% level, you're buying points for 1.84 cents Canadian. With taxes, it's about 1.93 to 2.12, depending where you live in Canada. So you'd probably want to push a 2.5 cent redemption, maybe 2.25 cents per point. And if you can find that, then go ahead and buy points. If you have a 75% bonus like me, that's 2 cents per point, or 2.1 to 2.3 with taxes. So definitely would want to push a 2.5 cent per point redemption to be able to make value out of buying these points from Air Canada. If you don't have any rewards in mind right now, don't buy points. Just wait for the next bonus. There's no point in buying points speculatively, especially when we've seen bonuses that are at 100% or even higher. So there's the potential to get even more value out of buy points in the future. The next buy points offer is from Marriott Bonvoy. So two programs we've talked about lots in this video already, Air Canada Aeroplan and Marriott. So Marriott's offering up to a 40% bonus. I believe this one is also varies by the person. I did receive the max, which is the 40%. With 40%, you're buying points at 0.89 cents US each, or roughly 1.35 to 1.7 cents in Canadian dollars. And that's including taxes and fees and like that. So again, here you don't want to buy these Marriott points unless you can push a redemption over 2 cents per point. And there are more and more redemptions, especially here in Canada. As we approach summer, the dollar values of hotels are being bumped up, whereas the point value are not. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I believe the Marriott hotel at the Calgary airport, the in-terminal hotel, is running close to $400 a night, and you can redeem as little as 24,000 points. Now that's right around the limit of where you could be buying these points, but it's getting close. So there is value to be buying Marriott points, even if you're paying 1.7 cents. So I'd say if you could redeem for 2 cents per point, then you're ahead of the game and you can go ahead and buy these points. And we'll stay on Marriott, but now this is a bonus offer. So Marriott has come out with their now annual summer bonus for stays in premium rooms or suites at many of their hotels in Canada and the US. In Canada here, it's 130 hotels, over 2,100 hotels in the US. You get 3,000 bonus Bonvoy points for a stay at these hotels when it's in one of those premium, like upgraded rooms or a suite. This offer is available right away, and it's good through August 15th for stays. And then the last bonus is another hotel bonus, and Choice Privileges has come out with their summer bonus, and it's kind of their standard offer of where you earn up to 8,000 points when you complete 2 stays in Canada or worldwide. So the way this bonus works is they take whatever you earn as your base points off those 2 stays, and then they'll give you a bonus so that you end up with 8,000 points. Those 8,000 points, they mark it as a $50 gift card, because during this promotion as well, and a little bit past, they have dropped the redemption amount of gift cards, $50 gift cards, from 16,000 to 8,000 points. So you can redeem it for that. But you can get more value if you redeem for hotel stays, that is. Choice, like I think I've talked in my past videos, I think I still have to do that. There's about a week left. I need to convert some of my Choice points over to Flying Blue, because there's that double points offer for Flying Blue by converting. So I'm going to do that because I don't stay too often with Choice. But if you are somebody who stays with Choice hotels, definitely keep the points in there for hotel stays. Don't use it for the gift cards. This offer is now available, and it's good through for stays until September 2nd. And just like the credit cards, when you book Marriott hotels, Choice hotels through Rewards Canada, we do earn commissions on those. So thank you to anybody and everybody who books via our links. And don't forget that with Choice hotel stays in Canada, you can get 10% cash back just by linking your credit cards through the PayMe cashback app. We've covered that in another video as well, which I'll link to. So you can see all those details, because you can earn cash back on top of these points that you're earning as well for your Choice stays if you're staying in Canada. As always, remember to check out Rewards Canada's bonus offer section before you book any travel, whether it's flights, hotels, car rentals. There are so many bonus offers out there where you can earn double points this, 1,000 points that, free car rental day here, a free night here. There are so many offers that people are just leaving on the table because they just go directly to the airline, to the hotel, and book, and aren't aware that they can be earning even more, and they are just leaving points on the table. It's like walking past a $5 bill on the ground. Would you walk past a $5 bill on the ground? Probably not. So same thing with these points. Don't leave them sitting there. Check out the bonus offer section, rewardscanada.ca/bonuses.html. And that's all she wrote for this episode. Be sure to check out rewardscanada.ca on a daily basis and or our social media on a daily basis, because we are posting so many things that do not get covered in this video. There are short-term offers, there are flash offers that only last for a day or 2 days, and we only do those on our social media and on our blog and on our website. Some of those don't even make it into our newsletter because they're expired and gone. But at the very least, you should subscribe to the newsletter, as that is your weekly roundup of everything we have covered and is still available. That comes out every Friday. And then Saturdays is our bonus bulletin, where we do wrap up all of the bonus points and miles offers we've added to the website over the previous week. That is your ticket to more miles, more points, and more rewards. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.